Our second child, Eric, was not developing like we would have expected him to be. His speech, specifically his speech, was just incredibly hard to understand. And we knew that he was working to communicate with us and he was trying really hard, but most people outside of our family were not understanding what he was working on getting out. So we started thinking, this isn't what we would expect at this point. He was about 22 months old, 21 months old. We were referred to a couple of different places for help here locally. Some were school district affiliated, Health and Human Services affiliated early child intervention programs. And we also went to see a neurologist, a very well-known neurologist here in the area, and he was not befuddled in a bad way, but couldn't quite put his finger on what was going on in our situation. We have these family members saying, well, these are the experts, they know what they're doing. The more reading I was doing, though, was very counter to some of the theoretical approaches that I was hearing people telling us we needed to follow. And we had other physicians saying, trust in the process, this is what everybody does. But when it doesn't sit well with you, because of my educational background was all about neurological connections and sociological connections and how different areas of the brain work together. And the more reading I was doing, the more questioning of the status quo I was doing. And the more I started looking, I found this phenomenal book, and I literally took it everywhere I went. People thought I was crazy, but it was called The Child with Special Needs. And that was my first introduction into a professional who believed and had a theory based around the things that I was also researching and feeling were true.
I've known Chris for many years before All the Difference. I met her and her husband in reference to their son Eric, and she, being a mental health professional herself, kind of really understood and believed in the philosophy and the theory behind everything we were doing, and really, I hope, got a lot out of that first session, because afterwards, both her and her husband Darren said, you got to open one of these, in Wilmington. And I said, well, why don't you guys? And really, I think that was the beginning of the thought process. And All the Difference started very organically, very much like the Floortime Center did, where it started small and it's continued to grow. But my goal has really been to help Chris as much as we could, really working with the families, helping them, educating the professionals who are at All the Difference, because there's very few places that I've really come across that believe as wholeheartedly and holistically in this approach as I feel All the Difference does.